Hi everybody, welcome to this episode of KCTV. My name's Kaja.
This is Conley.
And this episode we actually want to talk about transgendered sexuality. You know, we've always had like, you know, them in the public eye as far as like Alexis Arquette, you know, who is like the transgendered activist, and the sister, it's like the sister of Courtney Cox Arquette. Okay. We'll go with sister. And then, of course, we have Chaz Bono, who also used to be Chastity Bono, who is the son of Cher.
That's a family anyway. We can't really use that as a reference.
But no, I mean, but that is a prominent figure. The latest one is actually Laverne Cox, who is a transgender female who just recently became the first transgendered African-American woman to be featured on the cover of Time magazine and to get nominated for a Daytime Emmy, which actually it was nominated for one of the pre-Time Daytime Emmys, which, you know, Kathy Griffin lovingly calls
the Schmemmies. Thank you for embracing that. No, it is pitiful. It's me against like the woman who puts the chips and dip out for 2.5 men.
But still, it's a big deal. It's still a big deal, like, for transgender to be in the public eye and in the public figure, especially as positive role models. But whenever you want to see, like, transgendered, you know, human beings, it's always, oh, well, let's start on the Jerry Springer show and see what hot mess comes on there. That's usually how we would go ahead and see.
Then they have on the Maury show where every once in a while they did that whole thing. It's like, could you pick out the guy? Is it a guy or a girl?
Oh.
I love those things. I'm sorry. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some, like, I'm going to say this right now, I'm a straight man, but there's some transsexual women that look like women. Like, there's some guys that, like, look like, I can't believe that, that isn't true, that not happening. I've seen some women that you could walk directly past you, you'd look her up and down, and you'd want to hook up with her, and you couldn't believe that it was a guy already.
Before we go any further, I was like, honestly, I mean, even though I am part of the LGBT community,
over the rainbow,
lesbian, gay, bi, transgender questioning, I honestly don't know that much about transgender sexuality, although I've been accused of being like a transsexual a couple times.
Oh. Hey, all I know is one thing. You get a guy drunk enough, he will f*** you. And he won't give a damn what's in his path in the process.
That is true. Look, I was like, look, a butt is a butt, and a thumb is a thumb.
And a hole is a hole.
And a hole is a hole. And a toe is a toe. So, before we go any further in this subject, because I did have my research right here, because honestly, even though I'm part of that family, I don't really know anything about transgender or transsexuality. I know nothing. You know, so, and there are many different categories, so we'll just try to cover just some of the main ones. Transsexual people identify as a member of the sex opposite to that assigned at birth, and a desire to live and be accepted as such. Meaning, a transsexual is someone who identifies as, they were born as a male, but they identify as a female, and they dress as a female every single day. I was like, you know, outside of the house, you know, there is no waping on that, you know, factor. A transvestite is a person who cross-dresses or dresses in clothes of the opposite sex. You know, sometimes that could be sort of like a borderline fetish. It's like, you know, and sometimes like a transvestite is someone who, you know, doesn't necessarily go through the medical procedures to go and have, like, you know, breast like, you know, augmented, or, you know, they don't go through hormone treatments.
But like, if you'd really like to see what a cross-dresser looks like, go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, I don't know if that's a cross-dresser or if that's drag. And actually, that's the next term I'm getting ready to go into. Drag is the term applied to clothing and makeup worn on special occasions for performing or entertaining, unlike those who are transgendered or who cross-dress for other reasons, meaning they do drag specifically for performance. The only time you ever see, like, guys or girls in the opposite, like, sex, you know, clothing is specifically for a performance art, like RuPaul. Like, RuPaul is like, you know, he's like a dude, like, you know, everywhere else, but on stage, yeah, he is RuPaul. You know, like, with the big hair.
I want to understand. So today, when you came here and when you got dressed, why didn't you put a wig on and lashes? And
because you were not paying me.
Okay, I get it. That I understand.
Remember when she got so much he ended up catching so much crap because of that as soon as they found out that he was a drag queen.
Well, the thing is that, no, I don't, actually, he never experienced, like, any backlash, because from the very beginning, I was like, he told everybody, yes, I am a drag performer. I was like, and they knew that from the very beginning. But I think back in the 90s, like when his single Supermodel hit, they overlooked all that because, the song was of good quality and it was a good song. I mean, he got nominated like for a whole bunch of awards, and quite frankly, it's like, I'm sure it's the song that's paid for about 7 of his houses. Alright, so a bigender, sometimes referred to as, bigender, dual gender, or bigender, is an individual who's one who moves between masculine and feminine gender roles. That basically means that, they are both male and female all the time. Like, they don't have like one side or the other. They're not a male identifying solely as female. They're not a female solely identifying as male. They sort of move like they're.
So it's kind of like a bisexual at a lesbian and a straight bar.
I mean, kind of, sort of. I think like the term that would probably be best described is perhaps fluid sexuality. I think that's what I think it's the closest that I could possibly get. Like there are no lines. They're just all over the place. I actually want to go ahead and ask the question: do we think that transgender is the identity of individual identifies with it, or is it a biological thing? Meaning, do we feel that? Is it something that, is, sort of ingrained in us biologically, and there's really no, cause or, rhyme or reason behind it, for the same reason that there's no rhyme or reason for a gay, or is that something that they pick up, after all? Me, personally, I think it is something that is genetic. I don't think it is something that you can pick up. I think that, it is... something that can't be controlled, and it's something that, is just as natural as, the color of our skin.
See, whereas me, I believe it's both, in my opinion. I believe part of it is genetic because they have proven, there have been tests in the past where they actually dissected human brains and everything, and they did notice how someone of your sexuality tends to have a smaller brain. It's kind of like a female. Don't get me wrong.
Just call me stupid.
which is what I was getting ready to say. In his case, yes, he's stupid. But don't get me wrong, women are not stupid. Lord knows I know plenty of them that'll make me look retarded. But that being said, the aggressive manner, that part of the brain that's usually larger, is actually larger when it comes to men than women. So women's brain is slightly smaller.
Okay.
And it tends to be the same with people with homosexual nature too. So I do believe it's genetic too. However, do I believe that there's plenty of straight people out there that one day got drunk and thought, you know what, why not? Yes, I believe that too.
When I first, started to slowly, come out in this lifestyle, and, I did play with the idea of being like, okay, what else is left? Because, already, we are growing up, and again, in a very rural town, where we are pretty much the only, black people for miles on end. Not now, but back then. But, at the time, I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get in this dress, and I'm going to go ahead and put on this makeup. I went over to my friend's house. I was like, because simply, I just wanted to make sure there weren't any other surprises that I needed to know about at that age. I just wanted to get it all out on the table and done. I went home. She put me in a very lovely dress. I sat in a makeup chair for a good hour and a half. I looked at myself, and I looked absolutely beautiful. And I was like, okay, I look beautiful. Take this off. This sucks. I don't know how women or transgender women do it. I don't know how they put up with it. I don't know how they do the tucking. I don't know why you would want those things on your chest all the time. It just feels like they get in the way. As a matter of fact, they did get in the way. It was just a lot of work and a lot of plucking and a lot of tweezing and a lot. I can't. I'm too lazy for that.
With me, I've adopted, seeing I've been around the world multiple times, I've adopted a theory that don't knock it till you try it. And that is one thing, I'm sorry, I'm still gonna knock. I would never try it.
I mean, that's fine. It's like, you know, if you were very... I mean, you have to understand, like, you know, you and I are completely, like, you know, different as far as our sexuality. You are, you know, very much, like, comfortable in your sexuality and you know who you are. Me, I was still trying to figure it out. Hence, you know, the wig and, like, the dress. But believe me, as soon as it was on, I'm like, take it off! Rather... I mean, don't get me wrong, I like looking nice, but I like looking nice like a boy. I like, you know, jeans and sneakers and
Which
steel
back in the
toes.
day you couldn't tell because he actually had this baby gap shirt that showed his entire belly and everything.
I didn't go ahead and dress like a woman. I just dressed slutty. There's a difference.